Hello and welcome back to more of the Great Ace Attorney Adventures, where last time we continued the first trial of the game, and today we should hopefully be finishing. I mean, it's part 3 of the first chapter, so one would assume that third time's the charm. This time we'll actually wrap this up, but who knows? I guess I'll have to wait and see. November 22nd, 1:14 p.m. Supreme Court of Judicature, Courtroom Number 2. Well, I understand you are the judicial assistant to the defense, but why this sudden ingress in my courtroom?
Ha! A judicial assistant and a
Who gives a shit?
The rules state.
Oh, but don't try me, pal. So not only are we dealing with, it's been 10 seconds. Not only are we dealing with, we're dealing with witnesses that are racist and a prosecutor that's sexist. Oh joy, we're dealing with some great people today, gotta tell ya. What the hell, okay.
Yes, I fully understand. I ask only for 5 minutes of time. I have some vital evidence that I must hand over to the defense. Ha! You're too late, little girl. This trial is.
I'm sorry, wait a minute, did he actually say that? He actually said that. He said that. He said that. Those words left his mouth.
The trial has already been concluded.
5 minutes. I will not allow a moment more.
But, Your Excellency.
I am most grateful. Welcome to the defense bench. I'm guessing you'll be here. I'm guessing you'll be joining by our side for many more cases in the future. Who exactly are you? I'm sorry, there's no time. Please, simply accept this for now. What is it? A report about something written in English. It's Giselle Brett's research. The Englishwoman's? After the trial resumed earlier, I hurried back to the university. I went to Dr. Wilson's laboratory in the medical faculty and borrowed this pip. Oh yes, that's right. Miss Brett was studying under the professor, wasn't she? So does this research, whatever it is, have something to do with the case? I'm afraid I don't know. I haven't been able to listen to the proceedings of the trial myself. Oh, no, of course not. Special characteristics of cure and its effects on human subjects. Interesting. Cure? What's that? I've never heard that word before. If I were to take a shot in the dark, I'd say it's probably a poison, and if it is a poison, then oopsie daisy. Looks like we got ya.
The prosecution demands the immediate removal of this.
Oh my Jesus Christ. Who are these people?
The immediate removal of this female trespasser from the courtroom.
There was too little time for me to read it in detail, but I've summarized what I could on a note just inside the cover. If you think it could be valuable, please cast your eye over it. This is wonderful, thank you. Giselle's report has been entered in the court record. A report detailing an unknown poison that Miss Brett has been researching it during her time at my university. Oh, well. This could not have come at what's your name again? Susato. Susato, this could not have come at a better time. You have my deepest thanks. You have quite literally saved our asses. And I'm guessing you're going to be doing that many more times throughout this game. Now let me read that in detail to make sure I don't miss any details. Okay. Giselle's report. A poison made from the bark of certain trees in the jungles of South America. The hunters of the region have used it since ancient times to incapacitate their prey. Instant paralysis of the entire body and subsequent death, even in minute dose. Even in minute, if I can speak properly, minute doses. Route of entry: the above-mentioned effects occur when the poison enters the body through a wound, such as that inflicted by a blowpipe dart. Due to its ability to render the human body paralytic, it's believed that the toxin could have application as an anesthetic. However, a solution for the respiratory arrest caused as a result of the full body paralysis must be found first, or patients would die of suffocation. So it has to. Okay. So the problem here is that it has to enter the body through a wound. So I guess so why only through a wound? I guess maybe because if you drink it, the acids in your stomach would instantly neutralize it. I guess that would make sense. Or I guess like hypothetically that would make sense as a reason why it would have to be inflicted through a wound. But the problem there is that you'd have to find a wound from actually. To actually inflict, in order to get this poison into his body, you'd have to find a wound to get it through, because obviously if you just drank it normally, it wouldn't. Wait, yes it would, because of the tooth removal! Oh. It has been like over a year, it feels like it's been over a year at this point since I've been able to say these words, but that is so goddamn smart. That is... Oh my god, Shu Takumi, you're such a genius. Okay, the tooth removal, right? Because if he has the tooth removal, that's a big open wound leading into his bloodstream, right? So if he were to drink the bottle, yes, going down the esophagus and into the stomach wouldn't kill him, but it would have to pass through his gut, or not through his teeth, but it'd have to pass between his teeth, which means it would have to go into the wound where his tooth was removed, and that would count as a wound, which is how he was able to drink it without dying. Or sorry, which is how he was able to drink it and enter the wound, because it has to be entered through a wound, and there's the wound that it could enter through. Good thing I read that. Good thing I read the report. Oh, there we go. You're going down, Giselle Britt. You're going down. You've had long enough, counsel. We cannot detain our English guest any longer. Yes. How dare we keep the racist waiting. What a terrible thing we're doing. I ask the prosecution and the defense now one last time. Does either side have any further evidence to present to the court? I presume not, but...
The prosecution has made its case convincingly enough already. Oh, have you now? Nothing more to add, Your Excellency.
Ryunosuke, we're out of options here. This really is our very last chance. Yes, I know. Your Excellency, the defense does have new evidence. That look. The unyielding stare of a true Japanese warrior. Well, Miss Brett?
Yes, Your Excellency.
If you wouldn't mind, perhaps you could grace us with your presence a little longer?
It's a delightful invitation, but I'm afraid it's not so very long until tea time. I have to politely decline.
Forgive me, Miss Brett. It seems I wasn't clear. I realize it was phrased as a question, however. I must ask you to treat that as an order. Yeah, you're not going anywhere, buddy.
I've said it many times before, but the Japanese language makes no... Oh, for...
Jesus Christ. My apologies, dear lady. Don't apologize for saying... What? Don't apologize to her for that. What do you... Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. We're going to be dealing with some really terrible people in this game. We got the racist witness and the sexist prosecutor. Not that I should expect anything more from prosecutor freaking Payne over there. Mr. Payne, ouchie pain in my ass. But, Jesus. So, counsel, what is this new evidence that demands the court's attention? That would be Giselle's report about an unknown poison, which would explain, if it's unknown, it explains why they didn't detect it in the bottle. And if it has to enter through the wound, and because I guarantee you what he's going to say, well, it has to enter through a wound, so even just drinking wouldn't be enough, to which I say, well, that's the thing, buddy. He had a dental appointment earlier and had a tooth removed. So, there would have been a nice gaping open wound for this poison to slip right into his bloodstream. I did not mean to open this up. I wanted to present it!
Yes!
I'm so desperately waiting for him to be able to say, take that! And objection! Miss Giselle Brett, we understand you were studying under Dr. Wilson at UI University doing research. Research, by sheer coincidence perhaps, of deadly poison.
What?
Poison? Where are you going with this, counsel? A toxin known as Curia, Your Excellency. Even the slightest amount of this deadly poison entering the body leads to instant death.
What complete and utter nonsense? Curia, you say? I've never even heard of it.
Yeah, well, that doesn't matter if you haven't heard of it or not. The fact that it exists, that's all. It just needs to. I don't care if you've heard of it or not. It just needs to exist. That's it. You wouldn't have done.
What do you mean?
I mean that you wouldn't have heard of Curia before for one very simple reason. It doesn't exist in our country. It doesn't exist? Correct, which means no matter what test the police can do for toxins, they'd never identify Curia. Why? Because there is no test available here that can identify the presence of this high deadly poison.
Wah!
Yeah, I didn't see that one coming, did ya? Order! 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 Counsel, does this deadly poison truly exist? According to this report authored by the visiting research student from England, Curia has long been used by the tribespeople of South America as a poison to lace their arrows. It seems that it's reasonably well known among European doctors and scientists.
To lace their arrows?
The report states that it is produced from the extract of a tree that grows deep in the Amazonian jungle, and it was first brought back to Europe at the turn of the century by explorers. It claims that animals shot by arrows laced with Curia suffer instant death. Doesn't that about sum it up, Miss Brett?
Trumpery. These aspersions are utter trumpery. To start with, if the victim had been administered some of this so-called deadly poison, he would have been squirming and writhing in pain, and the other diners would have surely noticed.
That's true. What do you say to that, Inspector?
Obviously, I would have noticed a disturbance like that. I don't remember anything like that either. I didn't notice the person being in any kind of pain.
According to this, however, it's the other way around.
What do you mean, the other way around?
The very fact that the victim didn't show any visible signs of distress is evidence that Curia was used.
It's maintenance of well, I mean, it's instant death. The moment this toxin enters the person's system, it causes instant paralysis. In other words, afflicted victims lose all strength and are completely unable to move. Even if they were in total agony, there would be no reason for them to do something or other.
How terrible!
Obviously, if a man lost all strength in his muscles, he'd collapse on the floor. But with a chair under him for support, as Dr. Wilson did, the effects could go largely unnoticed.
But I didn't follow, Kazuma. That's just paralysis. I thought the poison caused instant death.
The full explanation is extremely unpleasant. The poison causes immediate paralysis, as I said, leaving the victim unable to move. But after a short time, the paralysis is so severe it causes the muscles that control respiration to fail.
Respiration?
In other words, the actual cause of death is suffocation, and all the while the victim is conscious and aware, just unable to move.
That's hideous.
To the observer, it would look almost like the victim was slipping peacefully into an endless sleep, but for the victim himself, his final moments would be a living hell. That is the true nature of this deadly Curare poison.
And what a coinkydink that its lead developer just happens to be right over there, and she was sitting right across from the victim. Oopsie! Didn't think we'd find out about that one, did you, buddy?
And you're suggesting that this bottle capsule actually contains this terrifying poison?
Oh, what now?
This is all very convenient, isn't it? A hitherto unknown poison for which there is no means of testing. What a happy sale for the defense.
I don't care whether it's a convenient tale or not, it exists. That's all that matters, is that it exists. It's not my fault you didn't do your job properly.
Ahem, if I may. Ollie's fact. You think you're so clever, but you It is you who must be taught. Of course, dear lady.
So, this is, oh my Jesus Christ, I can't. These people are the worst. What? You steal another's honest hard work and then announce the results if you just, that's not what happened there, buddy, you sack of human garbage. That's not what we just did. We didn't say, look at this amazing poison that we just discovered on our own. Because why would we be proud of discovering a poison? We said that you were the one. We gave you credit. Oh, wait a minute. My whole case revolves around giving you credit for the poison, you idiot. Literally my whole point is you made the poison. Oh, sorry, you were developing the poison. Conceding that it's your hard work only further helps my case. Oh my god, these people. I'm appalled. What a loathsome act, says the woman who is actively racist against Asians. Like, Jesus Christ.
Well, Miss Brett, the feeling is mutual.
Whatever do you mean?
Capitalizing on the unfortunate circumstances of an innocent man affirming for a heinous crime, that really is a loathsome act. Wouldn't you agree?
Enough of this. I, for one, refuse to accept it. The idea of some poison that doesn't even exist in the great empire of Japan is breaking the rules.
Why? Because why? Because you've never heard of it before? Oh no, what a horrible thing. What's so funny? Also, does she just not have eyes? I guess she just doesn't have eyes.
Oh, excuse me, Your Excellency.
Yes, Miss Brett?
May I borrow that bottle for a moment, please?
Well, yes, I don't see why not.
Let me guess, she's gonna drink out of it, and then she's gonna be like, aha, it doesn't kill me. Oh no, to which point all I say, ooh. That was kind of cool. Oh, I wonder how much of the budget was dedicated to making sure that bottle could actually pour water properly. That was kind of a cool effect. You don't, we've never seen proper liquid physics before in an Ace Attorney game. But I'm guessing she's gonna be like, aha, I've drank the poison, therefore your theory is mute, to which I'd be like, yeah, that doesn't matter. It has to enter the bloodstream through a wound. That's your only, that doesn't.
Don't get too big for your boots, you insignificant little island boys.
Sorry?
To an Englishwoman such as myself, this whole affair is a farcical comedy. Your little police games and these foolish court romantics. It's laughable, really. But I'm getting bored of it all now. Cheers!
Okay, I'm more impressed than I should be by the liquid physics, because it's like, nowadays, liquid physics aren't exactly anything, like, groundbreaking, but given the genre of game and given the fact we've never seen something so sophisticated from a visual perspective, I don't know, it's just, I'm always fascinated thinking about, like, the tech behind how things work.
That's why I find developer postmortems and behind the scenes and Vidocs so interesting, because I'm fascinated with like the behind the scenes of how things are made as a creative myself. So like thinking about the physics of the liquids and how they got that to work, because like I said, that's new ground for this series, which is why it's such a big deal. Whereas you see it in another, like if you saw that in a major AAA game, you'd be like, yeah, whatever, it's a bottle of water, who cares? But for this series, it's like breaking ground. So it's just, I don't know, maybe it's something only I care about, but it's all the little details that really add up to the bigger picture, even if it's just the smallest little stupid thing that only I care about. What are you doing?
No sparkle left at all. How appropriate for the shabby affair.
I hope you're not all stunned by this, because it's pretty clearly outlined in the medical report, or sorry, the research papers, that she has no reason to die right now. Regrettably.
Goodness! Whatever is the matter? You all look quite stunned.
I mean, you really shouldn't be. So, no cure. The bottle was clean. Is that what you're saying?
Ha 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 ha. You look quite incredulous, little boy. But of course, that's the simple truth. Thank you for presenting the findings of my research so concisely here in this grand venue. Most kind. Thank you, waiter. Now then, Your Excellency.
Yes, Miss Brett?
I should like to be excused now, please. I think I've given more than enough of my time for the furtherance of friendship between our countries.
Oh, yes, dear lady. We are most gratified with all the assistance you have given. That doesn't, you guys gotta realize, it's only lethal if it enters the bloodstream through a wound, because I'm assuming the justification would be that if you drink it, the acids in your stomach would instantly neutralize it, so it doesn't really matter that she drank it and survived, because that wouldn't prove anything anyway. This doesn't make sense. Yes, it does. There had to have been poison in that bottle, correct? So how did she... How did she swallow a whole glass and live to tell the tale? I don't understand it.
Well, I suppose if nothing else, this little Far Eastern charade will make for interesting conversation at the next party I attend in London.
Yeah, you're not going to be attending any parties for the rest of your life, buddy.
There has to have been poison in that bottle, doesn't there? But there can't have been, because otherwise she would have killed over dead. Come on, Ryunosuke, we all have the clues now. That bottle of water.
Contains poison. Obviously.
The culprit did procure poison into Dr. Wilson's carbonated water. The defense refuses to change its position.
You're serious?
Fool! Are you blind? There's no possible way that bottle could contain poison. I mean, we just saw.
Miss Brett drinking the water from it? That's right, which rather complicates your argument.
No, it actually doesn't really help you at all. It only helps me.
And I believe that complication can be explained.
How, exactly?
I need to think through all the things that don't quite add up here, one by one. I'm sure the answer's in the evidence we have on the court record somewhere. It has to be.
Of course it is. Very well. If the defense truly intends to assert this claim, which of course we do, then I must ask you to support the assertion with evidence. Gladly. I just gotta show you the Giselle's report. Your own report's gonna be your own doing, buddy.
Yes!
The answer to this riddle is right here in Miss Brett's own research report.
That's not a valid explanation.
What? Literally the report that shows you exactly, that describes the effects of the poison and directly counters your claim. And he's like,
That's not a valid explanation. Yeah. After all, we don't speak English. The report is utter gibberish. This impudent young scoundrel is trying to ridicule the court, Your Excellency.
I'm not trying to ridicule anyone, honest. I'm just reading Susato-san's notes.
I concur. This report is too extensive to be considered in its entirety by the court. You will direct us to the pertinent section, counsel. Which section of the report reveals the alleged answer to this riddle? Special character. It was on page 2. Page 2 is when it said it, right? I'm pretty sure it was page 2. Please, memory, please save me.
We've been hearing a lot about it. I think we got it right. We're hearing a lot about the poison, and it's left me curious about something.
Oh, counsel?
Well, it sounds as though indigenous hunters have been using this poison for years and years to lace the heads of the arrows that they shoot at whatever prey they're hunting.
So we've been led to believe, yes.
And the point of hunting is to catch prey to eat.
Get to the point, please.
But
If they were to use these laced arrows, doesn't that mean that there would be traces of poison left in the prey the hunters were going to eat?
Yes, good point.
So surely the hunters wouldn't want to eat their prey, would they?
Good gracious, Council! No, that wouldn't be madness.
But I actually found the answer to that conundrum. Research paper here. Under special characteristics, it says this. The poison starts to work after entering the body through a wound.
Through a wound, you say? I see, that makes sense.
Yes, the mention of that particular detail seemed a little strange to me, though.
Ah, you know we're onto you.
But it all makes sense when you interpret what's written like this. When Kira enters the body through an open wound, it has terrifying poisonous effects. However, when it enters the body via the mouth, it has no poisonous effects whatsoever.
What?
Miss Brett, you authored this research. You knew Kira's special characteristics, and you knew that you could make a spectacle of drinking that water without any danger to yourself.
You meddling little...
Oh dear God, the bird's alive! The bird's alive?! Why is the bird alive? She's got a hat on her head with a live bird as a decoration. Okay. Alright then.
Well, Ryunosuke, it turns out you're an even better lawyer than I thought you'd be.
Really? Me?
Well, I sure would hope so, because Phoenix had to get his lawyerly chops from somewhere.
A lawyer?
Oh, all this poison talk is fascinating, I'm sure, but I fail to see how it possibly...
So, the ill-bred little puppy has a new toy to play with. Some facts he read in a book. Yeah, your book. About your poison. I'm afraid knowledge doesn't suit you, little boy. It only makes you look silly. Oh, I can't wait to see you try to finagle your way out of this one. Good, I can't wait to see how you try to wiggle your way out of this one. What are you trying to say? Your schoolboyish logic is a fatal flaw. Oh, do tell. Schoolboy?
Flaw?
As even your brain has managed to deduce, Killer is safe to ingest. It seems likely that its effects are neutralized by the acidic nature of the...
Yep, that's what I surmised. Yep. Ah, he's even got the little left hand behind the head smile that Phoenix does. Ah.
Oh, yes, well, of course. Gas trick suckers?
Okay.
So, this lethal poison is completely harmless when drunk. The professor wouldn't have died when he swallowed.
Yes, he would have, because, yeah, oh, no, buddy. You seem to forget that he just came back from a dental appointment during which he had his tooth removed and would therefore have had a big open hole in his mouth. Ah, nice try, buddy. Nice try. That's so cute. You thought you were getting away with this. Nah, buddy. Sorry that my memory is significantly better than yours, but I actually keep noting these little details, and I actually remembered that he had a tooth removal. I'm sorry you forgot, but sadly, that's not my. Also, I like how the waiter's just there. Like he's just here. He's not doing. He's the water pourer. That's his purpose in life. He has no reason to be here other than that. He's just kind of chilling. Like he's
That's basic science. Science that even a schoolboy should be able to understand. No.
Well, apparently you didn't when you try to convince everyone that drinking it would have proved you innocent, despite the fact that drinking it doesn't do anything anyway. Order in court. Order. The logic holds. If the lady and the professor drank the same poison, they would have been affected in the same way. You trying to suggest?
Yes, this Kira poison is completely irrelevant to the case on trial.
That's right. Surely even a little cockroach like you could understand something as simple as that. What is this welling up inside me? I've never felt like this before. It's a sort of conviction to break down all the discrepancies. It's so intense, almost rage-like. And more than anything else, it's an animalistic desire to take down my prey. Yeah! Yes! There's our objection music. Oh, the payoff. Oh my god. I'm in heaven right now. Oh my god. I probably sound like the biggest dumbass in the world right now. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry to the people who are watching me flail around like an idiot right now, but it's just... I miss this so much. It's just it's like they knew. They held onto that card. They waited to play it until the right moment. They knew that people were waiting for it, anticipating the objection music, anticipating the finger point. They knew to hold onto that card until the right moment. And oh my god, it could not have come at a better time. I don't think so, Miss Giselle Brett. How dare you use that tone with me? You know very well that there is no fatal flaw here. You know exactly why, even though both you and the victim swallow the same poison. You are alive, but Dr. Wilson is dead.
Counsel, I'm sure I don't need to remind you, you must provide compelling evidence, as we now know that this poison is completely harmless when ingested. Why would Dr. Wilson alone have been killed by it? Because he just had his tooth pulled out. There it is, right here.
As Miss Brett so readily pointed out, she drank the same water as the professor. However, there was a fundamental and fatal difference between the two diners.
A fatal difference?
The toxic effects of Kira are only felt when the poison enters the body through an open wound. So, for a healthy person with no injuries, drinking it is completely harmless. But what if there was a wound inside the mouth of the person drinking the poisoned water?
Inside?
Yes, like the wound you might have if you had just been to the dentist and had a tooth extracted, for example.
Ah!
Miss Brett, you've acknowledged many times in your testimony already that you were well aware of Dr. Wilson's dental appointment that day.
So that's it. You used that knowledge to orchestrate this.
Is she laughing? I don't like to repeat myself, but honestly, I can't resist. These childish courtroom games and your half-baked arguments are oh so puerile. What do you mean? Don't worry, little schoolboy. You'll find out soon enough.
Oh, what the hell? Now what? What's happening now?
You see, when you leave vital evidence lying around, you never know what might happen to it.
Oh, she's gonna break it?
I mean, it could just...
Okay, I'm sorry, but just doing that... At what point, like, when you do that, when you take the bottle and you're like, boop, oh no, I guess the evidence is gone, what you gonna do? Like, do you really expect people to be like, ah, yeah, that's definitely the response of an innocent person? Because if you're innocent, you obviously have every reason in the world to frantically grab the only thing that can prove you guilty and destroy it in a mad, frantic dash. Ah, yes, innocent you are. You are very much innocent. Oh, also, I don't know why I feel the need to point this out, but I just got a text from Forget45 saying, daily reminder that The Last Airbender had a budget of $150 million, in reference to The Last Airbender movie, which, by the way, is a terrible movie that you should never watch, especially if you actually like the original show. Don't watch it. Here's their, on behalf of Forget45, here's a public service announcement. Never watch that movie. Don't do it. You'll want to die. Anyway,
oh dear, how careless of me. I'm afraid some crucial evidence may have just been tragically destroyed. No!
What is it? What just happened? It's an Englishwoman. She just smashed that bottle. And then the Supreme Court wrote a terrible blow.
Oh, come on. You can't be serious. You have to see through this. Officer, what are you waiting for? Collect up as much of the water from the broken bottle as possible at once. You're wasting your time. This delightful carpet under my feet here was a gift from the British Empire. I assure you, it will soak up the water beautifully. You have neither the technology nor the presence of mind to recover it. How could you? You won't get away with this. You can thump the bench and shout as much as you like, little boy, but I'm afraid we'll never know now, will we? If there really was poison in the bottle, or not.
You...
And let us not forget, we still have some very compelling evidence left intact. Isn't that right, counsel for the prosecution?
Oh, of course.
Really? Really? You watched her do that, and you're like, ah, yes, much innocent, many wow. Definitely, of course she destroyed the only piece of evidence that can prove her guilty. That makes sense. Yeah, innocent people do that.
Oh, of course. You're referring to this photographic print, I assume, dear lady?
That's right. And really, looking at this photograph, it's clear as day, isn't it? The poor professor was sitting with his back to me. So, of course the only person who could have shot him from the front is the little schoolboy.
No, you killed the victim that day using Cure, and then, in order to frame Ryunosuke Naruhodo for the crime, you waited until he picked up the pistol you'd arranged for him to find on the floor, before you shot the professor's dead body in the chest with your own hidden gun. Then, in the confusion that followed, all you had to do was turn the dead professor in his chair around. You see? You had every opportunity to commit this crime.
What
What a wonderful imagination you have, young man. A hidden gun, you say? And I shot the professor's dead body, did I? Well, I'm terribly sorry, but you don't have a shred of evidence.
Exactly. And as you have nothing to support your wild claims, the prosecution's stance remains unchanged. The victim, Dr. John H. Wilson, was killed by a gunshot to the chest. Delivered in cold blood by the accused, Ryunosuke Naruhodo.
Oh, this is unbelievable. How can this be happening? Oh, you had her, but now, is she really going to get away with it? The way she destroyed that evidence was obscene.
Ryunosuke,
Yes?
we've come this far, but now you're the only one who can finish it.
What? What do you mean?
We've lost a vital piece of evidence, it's true. So if there are any clues left for us to use now, they must be in your head.
In my head?
You told me before that your powers of observation were the one thing you could really depend upon.
Well, yes, that's true, but I didn't manage to notice that this woman was foreigner with a swan on her head.
So think back again now. Try to remember every last detail about the scene that day. Everything you saw, everything you felt, every color, every smell.
What I saw, what I felt.
What am I missing? Why was he, what am I missing here? Am I missing something?
Oh! No, we got you now. Oh, no. Oh, buddy. Oh, you foolish fool indeed. Oh, you foolish swan lady. Oh my god, nah, nice try, buddy. Oh, so you say that the only one who could have shot the victim was me, huh? Oh, well, riddle me this, Batman. So, if the gunshot wound is in the chest, and the bullet didn't go through the body, and this plate is behind the victim, then how exactly did a bloodstain get on the plate? It's almost as if the only person who could have been able to pull this off would have had to have been sitting across from him, such as yourself, Miss Swan Lady. Oh, too bad. Looks like once again you've been screwed over. Someone with this vibrant memory of the same scene is in my head. Could there be another clue to expose the... Oh, yeah, there's a clue, alright. Oh, there's a clue, alright. Actually, Kazuma, I think I might have something. Thinking back over everything I saw, I think I might have another clue.
Ha, you always have something up your sleeve, don't you, Ryunosuke? Come on then, let's wipe that smug smile off that Englishwoman's face with some evidence. Oh, you got that straight. Coming, you want evidence? Coming right up.
It's been niggling me for a while that something feels amiss in the memories of that day. Whatever it is could be the key to arrive at the truth about all this. It's here somewhere. The clue that shows you Dr. Wilson's real killer must have been is the bloodstain right here. Take that! Yeah! Inspector Hosonaga, answer me this. Yes? What is it? He's still miles away. Probably thinking about that bottle being smashed. As you've said a number of times now, you strive for perfection in your investigations, don't you? Absolutely. I wonder, therefore, if perhaps you took anything else from the scene of the crime. Like, for instance, the plate of steak that you took to the victim's table that day?
Wait a minute. Where are you going with this, little boy?
It's just a memory that's been troubling me.
What memory?
I saw the scene shown in this photographic print with my own eyes that day. And I saw that on the wooden base of the plate that the steak was served on was a spattering of blood.
What?
Oh, really? And what of it? Obviously that must have happened when you shot the professor. Nah, it's not possible. No, that can't be the case. Take a good look at the photograph and the relative position of everything there. The plate of steak is almost directly behind the victim. If I'm supposed to have shot Dr. Wilson in the chest from the front, then there's no way the blood from the victim could have ended up directly behind him.
Yes. For blood to have made it onto the plate, it implies the plate was between the victim and the shooter, which means the shooter must have been sitting opposite the professor as you were. Giselle Britt!
I beg your pardon?
This is beyond ridiculous. Fabricated nonsense. Is the court seriously expected to believe something the accused has apparently just
I mean, it doesn't matter if I remember it or not because it's in the photo. It's in the photo. You can still see the outline of the bloodstain in the photo.
This could be the moment that my entire career in the police force has been leading to. Inspector, you mean... Yes, I took the plate. I took it, meat and all. You did what? I took the steak that you had been eating, Miss Brett. I took the steak that the sergeant had been eating. And I did it all in the name of justice.
Oh, there it is. The waiter finally has a chance to be useful again. Then he was just waiting his by. He was just waiting by, biding his time, waiting for his chance to shine again.
Then we can find out for sure whether or not there's a bloodstain on Miss Brett's plate. We must examine it now.
Inspector! The court wishes to examine the plate from the victim's table immediately!
Yes, sir.
Sorry for the delay. Here is what you ordered. The steak.
That's a 2-day-old steak. I don't know that I want to be anywhere near a 2-day-old steak, but okay.
Well, what about the blood? Is there blood on it?
Of course there isn't.
You haven't even looked at it yet.
Quickly, Inspector, the blood man! The blood man! Show the court! Okay, I minced those words together a bit poorly.
Of course, examine the plate at your leisure.
What? That's a problem. That's a bit of a problem.
But no, that's impossible!
He must have switched the plates. He must have switched the plates with one of the, because there were two other people, right? There was the yes sir no sir guy, and then the collector, the you whippersnappers these days, that guy. Yes or no sir, and I forgot the other guy's name. They were there. He must have switched the plates. Because there's no way. The photo shows that there was a blood stain there. So he must. The only way this makes sense is if he switched the plates around. That's the only thing that makes sense.
I know I saw it. I'm sure of it.
They must have been switched.
It was right there on the table behind the professor. If there was blood on the side of the plate.
Maybe we can compare. Can we maybe compare like the bites taken? I know we're scraping the bottom of the barrel here, but all I can think is that maybe we can switch. Like maybe we can pair. Yeah, because oh wait, okay, so there's no bloodstain here. There's definitively no bloodstain here. So can we compare like the shape of the steaks themselves? Okay, so that goes in a hump up top, and it's okay. There's two humps on top of that one. Oh no, those are the same. Those are the same. Those are not the same. Oh, we gotcha. We gotcha. No, we got you now. Those are the same. Those are okay. We got the magnifying glass, right? Okay. So this one has a really high, like it has a wider hill essentially. Like if we were to describe the bumps in the heart-shaped steak, like if we describe this as a hump, this is a wider hump. Whereas if we go back to the other one over here, it's skinnier. You see like how it's there's more of a build up to where it reaches its climax at the top. Because these are a lot skinnier than the other ones. They're not the same. They are not the same at all. Ha ha. Nice try, buddy. Nice try. You thought you got away with it, did you? Nah, we didn't. No, you didn't. Because we can compare the bite marks taken out of the steaks, and they are not the same at all. You switched the plates. You switched the damn plates around, you sneaky little bastard. Oh, we got you now.
What an unbecoming expression, little boy.
Oh, the stupid bird.
You see, this is why I always say you can't draw my
After the shit you said and the amount of lies we've exposed today, your racist ass doesn't get to say anything to anybody in this courtroom of that caliber.
Ah! I couldn't agree more. In the case of this disgrace to the Empire.
I believe we may finally have reached a conclusion. No, we haven't. We're nowhere near our conclusion.
Let's hope so. Let's pretend attempt at courtroom proceedings is painful to watch. But I do promise to do my best to forget all about it when it's over.
Ha! This sorry-looking steak reveals the facts all too clearly.
Yeah, you're right, it does. To my benefit.
If the sorry-looking accused wishes to examine it again, be my guest.
Oh, I already did. I already did that, buddy.
Was the plate I saw, or thought I saw, just a figment of my imagination? This is it now. I've lost.
Ryunosuke, it's not over yet. Not until the final gavel.
Huh?
Never stop believing in yourself. Keep looking forward no matter what.
Believe in myself? Really? How do I do that? I've never done that before. Maybe I should at least examine the evidence.
Oh, I already did that, buddy. I already did that one, buddy. And I got news for you. They don't match. They're not the same steak. They are not the same steak. You switched the plates. As the evidence requested by the defense has not been shown to be problematic in any way. Not yet, it hasn't been. I presume any further examination of evidence in this trial will be unnecessary. Does the defense have an objection? Yes, I do. That bloodstain was going to clinch the trial for me. Can this plate of... Yes, it can. There's another clue. There is absolutely another clue.
Your Excellency, please wait! This plate of beef is hiding another clue! Another clue that will reveal the shocking truth!
The only thing that's shocking here is your unhealthy fascination with beefsteak.
I mean, you know, guys gotta eat, I guess.
Your Excellency, I think I've made myself clear, haven't I? I will not be able to turn a blind eye to any more unnecessary procrastination in this trial.
I'm sorry, Miss Brett, but we must ensure a thorough examination of the evidence. I will not give a ruling until I'm completely satisfied that all reasonable doubt has been dispelled.
I see. As a newly affirmed ally of my country, that's still your position, is it? Thank you, Your Excellency.
Counsel for the defense, you will now clearly show the court what you are alluding. Where precisely on this plate of beefsteak is this new clue to be found? That would be in the steak itself, because they're not the same. No, counsel, I'm afraid that won't do. When you're asked to identify detail like this, you went,
What? But they're not the same! They're absolutely not the same! What do you mean? What do you mean?
Got it!
Good gracious, that's...
Come on.
What on earth? Ahoy one at that. Miss Brett, this is in fact the beefsteak that you ordered at the restaurant on the day in question, is it? Tell me, why is there an old coin seemingly hidden underneath the meat?
Oh god, the bird's angry again.
What a ridiculous question. How should I know? I've never seen that thing before in my life. I don't know what this is, but I want no part of it.
I fail to see how this is relevant. A coin under the meat? That could simply have been a careless mistake by the chef in a moment of distraction.
Don't be absurd. We're supposed to believe that this happened by accident in the kitchen? A rare Hoi Kaban just happens to be hidden underneath that piece of steak? If this turns out to be relevant to the case, I'll rip up my ticket to Great Britain right now.
He's right. It can't be a coincidence. Your Excellency,
Yes, counsel?
a rare Oi Koban just happens to be hidden underneath that piece of steak. If this turns out to be relevant to the case, I'll give my lawyer a job right now.
You don't have a job.
By all means, don't let us stop you. No one invited you anyway.
I mean, you literally did invite me to this courtroom. It's just a shame for you that I took up a different role than you expected me to.
Perhaps, little boy, you should realize that it is you who is irrelevant.
This case is literally about me. This trial would not exist if it were not for me. I was about to say, even though I'm the one on trial here.
The point is, it's essential that we ask the owner of this coin if he can explain what it's doing under the steak.
The owner?
Yes, it's obvious. There's only one person it could belong to. The owner of the Kaban that was found underneath this beef steak is, that would be, what was this guy's name? I honestly forgot. It was, Curio Correct, or Correcuda. Curio Collectors, I think is the name pun they're going for here. Okay.
Take that!
Obviously, it can only be the antiques dealer and owner of Rasutai, Curio Correcuda-san. Curry? As in Mr. Cucumber something? Honestly, these ridiculous Japanese...
Oh my Jesus Christ, you're just the worst. You are the worst type of human being. Literally the worst. Oh, yes. The old man who testified earlier belongs to the military sergeant, correct?
Yes, Your Excellency.
I remember him saying that he was up to something with his Kaban coin when it happened, at exactly the moment the gun was fired. Then this why, come on. Do you mean to tell me?
No, please. Why would Korekuda-san's Kaban be sandwiched between the victim's beefsteak and its plate? It makes no sense.
Well, if I were betting man, I'd say that what probably happened is military man, Mr. Yes Sir No Sir, was probably like, hey, what's that over there? And then he stole the Kaban and hid it under his steak. It's like, I don't know what happened to it. No idea. What, you want to eat my steak and find out? You're not going to do that. That's probably what happened.
Which is why I'm asking to bring Korekuda-san back to the witness stand so we can ask him.
Officer, bring both witnesses to that testified earlier back in here. Without a moment's delay. We're zeroing in on the truth.
I can't believe we've come back round to that pair again. But I have a hunch, a strong hunch, that if we chase down the real significance of this koban, we'll find that it's a key element in the case.
Oh, great. Mini yes or no, so we're still yanking on a stupid mustache. What's this all about? Why have I been called up again? Don't you realize that it's dinner time for my little baby Ido? When my son's belly is empty, he's fiercer than a pack of wolves! Yeah, well, where do you get a load of... If you think he's fierce, where do you get a load of Ryunosuke Naruto when he's pointing his finger and yelling objection?
Exploited by the police we were, like miserable dogs, forced to bear false witness. And when cast from this courtroom myself, I became a ruined man in a trice, a worthless, withered antique. Nothing more have I to say. The sun has set on this Rasutai shop owner's existence.
Be that as it may, Koikuta-san, something has come to light that requires your clarification. As far as your Rasutai memory serves, has you ever seen this koban be...
Ah! That's it! The one, the very exact one that it is. That resplendent, splendiferous high treasure that my rusty bones managed to misplace that fateful day. For some reason, this voice hurts my throat more than Gumshoe's voice, so I'm gonna stop now. It can't be.
As I thought.
Young man, enlighten this decrepit old fool. Pull me out of my misery. Where was my treasure? Where was it dropped?
Oh, I'm not sure it was dropped anywhere. We found your coin sandwich between a beefsteak and its plate, soaking in the seasoned meat's juices.
Sandwich? Soaking? Seriously?
Clearly, it couldn't have fallen there by accident. Which means... somebody must have hidden it there on purpose.
Somebody concealed my hoard treasure between a slab of meat and a metal plate? Who would do such a thing? Such an unconscionable thing!
Maybe check to the person next to you who just had a seizure about it.
Someone say something.
Excuse me, could I say something?
Yeah, I was about to say, I just said someone say something.
Yes, of course.
Proceed, Inspector Hosanaga.
I mentioned this earlier on in the trial, but I was working undercover in the restaurant in order to investigate another case.
Ah, yes, that's right. The secret undercover operation.
The Carnival is a high-class Western cuisine restaurant. It attracts wealthy diners, including many foreigners. Recently, there's been a run of similarly executed thefts targeting the restaurant's rich clientele. A number of such incidents have been reported to the police bureau.
Wicked crimes indeed.
We wanted to nip the case in the bud quickly, especially with so many foreigners being affected. So that's why you were sent in undercover, is it? Yes, I took on the job of waiter at the restaurant in order to flesh out the criminal. It seems likely that this koban incident is the work of the same thief.
So unbeknownst to us, there was a master thief at work in the restaurant on a regular basis. The place was already the scene of several crimes, it seems.
I don't know about the master thief part, but the identity of the person who stole and hid Kawakuta-san's koban is all too clear.
What? What?
I think the court would like to hear the defense's view on this matter. Tell us, who was the despicable scoundrel that stole Kawakuta-san's koban and hid it under the stake? That would be... Yes, sir, no, sir.
Take that!
Obviously, it can only be you. Sergeant, yes or no, sir?
What? Huh? How dare you, you monster, says the thief.
Monster?
I stole that koban, did I? You're seriously accusing me of these crimes, cadet? But it wasn't me, it was Ido.
What? Oh, yeah, wait. What? Really? Really? That's the best you got? Really? That's what you're going with? That's your defense? No, officer, it wasn't me. It was the baby. It was my 2-year-old infant. Sorry, it was my 2-month-old infant child. He's the real thief. Really? That's the best you got? That's your defense? Is my infant child did it? Okay. All right. Sure. Whatever you say, buddy. What the? Okay. All right. You would push the blame for your crimes onto your own son, an innocent little baby? It's you who's the monster, Sergeant Nosa. I can't believe he said that.
What? What the hell?
What the? What? Wait a minute! What was that? What are we doing, Ratatouille here? The baby's actually... Okay, alright. That's enough for today. That's enough for today. Okay, what the... I have some questions. This game is awesome.
Do any of you know of the extraordinarily low wages the Nippon Imperial Army pays to those it expects to keep our country safe? I understand that the temporary increase in taxation owing to the recently ended conflicts remains in place, and I have heard it's hard for lower-ranking soldiers to make a living, yes. All I want is to put a hot meal on the table for my son.
That's why you were stealing things at the restaurant?
The place is heaving with money. Every 3 days I go there and do reconnaissance for a target. And I'd enjoy chumming my way through a good steak at the same time.
It sounds like he doesn't bother with a knife and fork even, which is worryingly believable.
And your target that day was the old man and his koban? Yes, sir. He was an easy mark. I slipped a coin into my pocket without any trouble at all.
A veritable phantom thief you are.
I was all set to leave the steak I was halfway through devouring when it happened.
Yes, when the professor was shot.
I knew that if the police conducted a search and found the coin in my pocket, I'd be finished. I know too. So I hid the incriminating evidence as fast as I could. On the double. I slipped it under the steak. Hoping that I'd be able to rendezvous with it again at a later date.
No one has anything to say. If it's Swan Lady, I swear. Yeah, of course it's Swan Lady. Perhaps you could carry on with this absurd battling in your own time. Well, Miss Brett?
Oh, of course, dear lady, of course. How rude of us. May the esteemed gentleman please be excused.
No, she may not. We haven't caught her yet.
Indeed. The theft of the koban was clearly perpetrated by this. I'm sorry. I like. No. Hold on. Wait a minute. The whole reason we got on this topic in the first place is because the bloodstain. Is because we were trying to figure out why the plate didn't have a bloodstain on it. There had to have been a reason why he switched around the plates. Maybe talk about that. No. If it suddenly appeared to be unrelated to Dr. Wilson's.
What? But there's no bloodstain. He had to switch. What do you mean? What do you mean? Of course it is. Hiding a coin under a lump of meat. The sheer nonsense of such an idea astounds me. Nonsense, is it? And as for picking up your steak and biting into it without using a knife and fork, it's beyond nonsense. It's pure madness.
Very well. Now that all questions concerning this witness's testimony have been answered, I see no further justification for detaining her. Miss Brett, you are free to leave.
No! Get your little swan ass back here.
Ryunosuke, what's the matter with you? There's no time for daydreaming.
Oh, no, it's just something about Miss Brett's potting woods there got me thinking. I can't quite work out what exactly, but something she said jarred with me. I feel like there was a contradiction in there somewhere. Something didn't quite add up.
What did she say? If that's the case, don't just stand there thinking. Make your voice heard.
Sorry?
You can think later, but if you don't call up now, it'll be too late. The trial will be over.
I don't. What did she say? I didn't. What the hell did she say? Her last words. Okay. Picking up a steak with it and biting into it without using a knife and fork. Is it because there's bite marks in the? Okay, I guess. I guess that right because obviously because she had it right. Okay, that makes sense. Wait, Miss Brett. What is it now? I'm afraid, just one last time, there's something I'd like to ask you. I'd like you to explain the contradiction in your parting words just a few moments ago. What are you talking about?
What new student nonsense is this?
Well, what parting words are you talking about, Ryunosuke?
Yeah, because they're claiming like they're trying to say like, oh, that's her plate. They're trying to say he hit it under her plate, which doesn't make any sense because for one, he would have just hit it under his own plate. But also, if you said that, then she used a fork and knife to eat, and
I don't really think this is necessary, because we already proved that, like, the fact that the bloodstain isn't there and the fact that the coin isn't there should prove, and the fact that the bite marks in the stakes are different should prove that they're not the same plate, so I feel like this part may be a little unnecessary. I'm right, what you said there is an undeniable contradiction. I'm going to need to see evidence, counsel. If Miss Brett's words truly are contradictory, where is the evidence to prove it? Well, I guess we're just the plate of steak itself. The steak that Miss Brett had been eating before the professor was killed, yes? Go on. More accurately, Your Excellency. The steak that was on the victim's table just before the professor was killed.
Now you're just splitting hairs.
Not true! Doesn't something about the steak strike you as very unnatural?
Unnatural? What on earth do you mean?
It's extremely obvious. I'm talking about the shape of the edge where it's been eaten. I see you've noticed it too, Miss Brett.
Notice what exactly, counsel?
Just a few moments ago, Miss Brett claimed no Englishman could even contemplate picking up a steak and biting into it without using a knife and fork.
Of course she did. She's your fine English gentlewoman herself.
And take a good look at this steak. In particular, the edge where it's been eaten. As you can see, there are clearly defined barbaric teeth marks there.
It looks like Miss Brett just has realized something.
So, if the witness, as she claims, wouldn't contemplate eating anything without using a knife and fork, then there shouldn't be teeth marks in the steak at all.
But what is your actual point?
My point is the plates were switched. They're not the same plate, as I thought would have been obvious from the get-go, but whatever.
Oh, whatever you say, dear lady.
As I said, I must really be leaving now. Afternoon tea with the Minister of Justice cannot possibly wait any longer.
Oh, she's gonna be waiting a long time for your meal.
Rest assured, I'm about to put this rookie in his place.
I've had enough, you irritating little spectacled samurai relic.
Oh, of course. Dear lady.
What's the matter, Miss Brett? Have you ruffled your feathers?
Clearly, the witness knows what this means. She's realized the catastrophic implications those teeth marks in the steak have for her.
Ryunosuke, do you know where you're going with this?
Yes, now at last it's all come together. The mysterious teeth marks in the steak that had allegedly been eaten with cutlery. The reason why the person I know that I saw somehow suddenly seems to have disappeared. And most importantly, the evidence that proves once and for all who shot Dr. Wilson that day.
I accept that these teeth marks in the steak are a little unnatural, as you put it, counsel. But what exactly are you suggesting that tells us?
Everything, Your Excellency.
Everything?
Yes, I believe that these barbaric teeth marks in the steak here amount to conclusive evidence in this case. Evidence that will prove beyond any doubt who shot Dr. Wilson. Conclusive evidence? How many times have I heard that today? You wouldn't know the meaning of that phrase. Typical, oh, for...
How can you be so sure?
Oh, it's quite simple. If you really had such conclusive evidence, you would have presented it to the court long ago. Actually, the evidence that I'm talking about hasn't been brought before the court yet.
Hasn't been.
But just because it hasn't been shown yet, doesn't mean that the evidence does not exist.
This is absurd. The trial has run several hours already, and you say that there's evidence yet to be brought forward? There can't be. I don't believe you have it.
I don't, but the waiter does.
I don't, but there is someone who does have it. And if that person is willing to submit the piece of evidence I'm referring to, it will solve every remaining mystery about this case.
Very well. I have a feeling this will be my last request of the defense in this trial. Who possesses the conclusive evidence that will reveal the truth about the whole affair? It's the waiter. Or the detective, but you know what I mean.
The answer is obvious. It's Inspector Hosonaga.
What? I have it?
Yes.
You think I've been withholding conclusive evidence?
That's ridiculous. No, I'm not saying that. Everyone's attention has been focused on the steak with the teeth marks.
Yes?
Now, early this afternoon, Sergeant Nosa told the court the following. I'd enjoyed chopping my way through a good steak, and as well as admitting to the stealing Korakuda-san's coins, he told us that he slipped it under the steak.
You watch it, Cadet. I'm a superior officer.
Sergeant Nosa, could you please confirm something for me? Was the steak that you put the coin under, in fact, your own steak?
Teachin! Affirmative, of course. I might be a soldier in the Imperial Nippon Army, but still. I'm not brave enough to ask a foreign gentle lady if she'd mind me manhandling her meal to hide something in it.
In other words, the steak that the detective submitted as evidence earlier was in fact Sergeant Nosa's meal.
Yeah, I thought that was the whole point. I thought the whole reason why we pointed out the coin underneath the thing was to prove that it wasn't the same steak. I thought, and the fact that bite marks are different would have, no? Okay, I guess we didn't prove that.
But that makes no sense. That plate was taken from the victim's table.
No, they were switched.
Yet the gentlewoman doesn't take bites out of a steak, nor did she have any opportunity to steal the coin. Of course I didn't steal it. To even suggest such a thing would be an affront to the entire British Empire.
Well then, how do you explain this?
Exactly, sure you're not going to suggest that the sergeant switched the 2 steaks over? You did switch the plates!
Well, after it happened, I didn't mean to open that. When I saw the civilian had been murdered right in front of my eyes like that, I panicked. As I said, I immediately lifted my steak and hid the coin underneath it. But then when the waiter announced he was an undercover policeman, I thought I'd had it. If he decided to investigate my slab of meat, that'd be it. I've been getting my marching orders. So when the cadet he was arrested and taken out to the kitchen, I seized my chance. Freaking baby keeps getting in the way. With military precision and timing, I switched my steak with the one on the foreign lady's table.
What? You can't have... I never saw you do such a thing.
It was called Operation Lightning Bolt. There was no time for strategic planning. It was do or die, I tell you. So yes, I did what had to be done.
Ah! Unbelievable!
However, fear not, Prosecutor-san.
What now?
I swear on the brass buttons of my uniform that is all I did, sir.
All you did? That's plenty, Sergeant.
I'm sensing a pursuit theme incoming. So, if Sergeant Nosa switched the plates over, it means he took Miss Brett's steak and the plate it was on back to his own table.
Yes, that follows.
Inspector Hosonaga. Yes? Earlier in this trial, you told the court this. You said that you had not only taken Miss Brett's steak after the incident, but also the sergeant's. That to preserve evidence, you had taken both.
Ah!
She knows she's caught. She knows it's over. That's correct. Then please present it to the court now. Yeah, here we go! The plate that was actually on the victim's table at the policeman when he was shot. What can that possibly tell us now? Here we go. Here it is, the final moment. I mean, a cold slab of tough meat? I can't have the slightest bearing on the case. Yeah, oh my god, it sounds so good. No, you're not wriggling your way out of this time, lady. Oh, the stakes are high. I beg your pardon. It sounds so intense.
Surely you're not that forgetful. Yeah, she's not quite a forgetful gal, if you will. Surely you remember the reason why the steak pan promises to prove such a problem for you, no?
You're the one who decided it was a problem, not me. Because we have evidence proving it was a problem.
The reason the defense has to see that plate was to confirm something the defendant remembers seeing.
Ha! Things he remembers. The photo proves it. I'm quite sure of what I saw, Miss Brett. And even if I wasn't, the photo proves it, and bringing out the plate would also prove it. On the side of the plate that was on the table directly behind Dr. Wilson, there was a clear spattering of blood from the gunshot wound to the victim's chest.
I believe the defendant's memory serves him well. And now that we have evidence to prove it, the plate you were eating from, Miss Brett. Let us not prolong this any further. Inspector, you will show the evidence at the court. Present the beefsteak and plate that was originally on the victim's table at the time of the incident.
Yes, sir. Oh, this person music is awesome.
Show it to us. Show me the bloodstain. Show me the bloodstain.
And you're done! Here's the other steak in its plate. Please, feel free to examine it. No, no examination needed. There, it's there. It's right there. There's the bloodstain. And you're done. The bloodstain is clearly visible. Look! Now this makes everything clear. Shows that at the moment the victim was shot, he was facing the table with his back to me.
In other words, it's impossible for Naruhodo-san to have shot the victim.
It can't be.
In fact, there's only one person who could have possibly shot Dr. Wilson from the front. I'm sure everyone knows by now who that person is.
Oh, she's running scared.
That's right. Miss Giselle Brett. It's you!
time for a breakdown.
Outdone by a Japanese? Me? By a Japanese schoolboy? No, no, no.
Oh dear God, what the hell? Oh no. Ah! Okay. Bird's got a mind of its own. Oh dear Lord, it's flying away. Oh dear Lord Almighty, it's dragging her all over the courtroom. Whee! Going for a little ride there, are we, buddy? Oh, what the hell? Okay, bye. What the fuck? Oh, cute little chickadees. Aww. They're all over the courtroom. Oh my God, I love Ace Attorney. It's so awesome.
Please excuse my little outburst. I briefly lost my composure.
No, I think your swan lost its composure. That wasn't on you.
Most unbecoming behavior for an English gentlewoman. Forgive me.
Well, Miss Brett, I think it's time you told the court what actually happened that day. The truth this time.
Gladly, Your Excellency. It was I who took the professor's life using Cure Air. As you surmise, I chose that particular day for one very important reason. The professor had a dental appointment for the extraction of one of his teeth in the morning.
So you planned to kill the professor knowing that no trace of poison would be found in his water, because Cure is unheard of here in Japan.
Yes. Of course, I never intended to remain at the restaurant for as long as I did. I only needed to see the professor take one tiny sip of his water, and it would all be over. I would place the stick I had ordered in front of him to make it appear as though he had been dining alone, and leave immediately. However, before any of that happened, there was an unexpected visitor at the professor's table. That would be me, I suppose. Yes, you. Who else? Such a trifling matter, but the fact that you decided to come over to greet the professor meant that I had lost my chance to slip away unnoticed. In due course, the professor took a sip of his water and was paralyzed. I made sure he was sitting in his chair such that he wouldn't fall. There was no going back at that point, so I concocted a plan on the spur of the moment.
A plan to pin Dr. Wilson's murder on this innocent man.
I happen to know that the professor always carried a gun. I decided to use that fact to my advantage. I had the bottle of Cure in my handbag, and my own pistol concealed under my skirt.
Shut the hell up.
So I was right, there were two guns. Yes, and then I finished my coffee and got up to leave. That's when I noticed the professor's gun, which you had presumably placed on the floor. Place where you were sure that I would notice it. And everything went according to plan. You noticed the gun as I'd intended. And then, just as you bent down to pick it up, that's when you shot the professor with your own gun, even though at that point, he was already dead. Naturally, the gunshot caused a commotion, at which point the waiter appeared. Obviously, I assumed Naruhodo-san was the culprit and apprehended him. I took him to the pantry that adjoins the kitchen and locked him inside. That's when I took the opportunity to turn the professor and his chair around.
Because of course, you needed to make it look like the defendant had shot Dr. Wilson from where he picked up the gun.
So there you have it. That is the entirety of my misdemeanor.
It is not a misdemeanor. That is a felony offense, and you are never going to see the outside of a prison cell again for the rest of your life.
Your Excellency.
Yes?
I wonder. Might I speak with you in private later?
I shall call on you.
Thank you.
Good. Oh, she better not get away with this shit. Oh, she damn well better not get away with this. I don't like that. No. I don't like that at all. That's not gonna be okay. But hey, we won! Our first victory! Our first victory of the game and our first Ace Attorney win in, over a year. It would seem this trial has finally run its course. I presume the prosecutor's in agreement?
This can't be. Not the likes of this rookie student.
Yeah, well, it's kind of in the pain nature to lose to a rookie, so this is whatever. You better start getting used to tough opposition. As you can see, because he's gonna face his whole family's just destined to be. How exactly does his family stay in the prosecution? Like you'd think that after years and years, generations upon generations of failures, one after another, you'd think that at some point someone in their line of family would be like, you know, we kind of suck at this whole prosecutor thing. Maybe we should try literally any other profession?
What? Yes?
This insult to the Ouchie family name will never be forgotten.
Yeah, well, you better get used to losing people in this family name. You become conceited with age, counsel, but the old have to stand aside and make way for the new. It's the way of the world. May you never forget that. God, the animations are so good. They're so good. The animations, oh my god, they're so fluid and lifelike. And I honestly forgot that characters could actually have lifelike animations in the past few months. Anyway, 1,000 millennials may pass, and still the Ouchie clan will never measure up to the... Oh, you have no idea. You have no idea. This trial in the Supreme Court of Japan will, I believe, go down in history as the start of a new chapter in our country's judicial system. Despite being summoned as the accused, you, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, presented an excellent case.
Thank you, Your Excellency.
The use of evidence and deduction to unravel the truth is a modern methodology. After all, it has only been a few short decades since our country opened its doors to the wider world, but the Western ideas of science are rapidly gaining acceptance here. I feel sure that science will soon bring new methods of investigation and new procedures of justice. A new future of law awaits, but what it will look like, I cannot begin to imagine. That is for the young to pursue. Kazuma Asogi? Yes. After this trial, you are set to embark on a journey of discovery to the illustrious British Empire. Learn all you can, absorb everything of the wider world that you are able to. And do not forget to fulfill the mission imposed upon you. The mission? I understand.
What was that about?
Never mind. As for you, Ryunosuke Naruhodo,
Oh, yes?
in you I sense... How can I put it? Unusual potential. I very much look forward to seeing how you carry that onwards.
Thank you, Your Excellency.
It is time to deliver the final verdict. I hereby find the defendant Ryunosuke Naruhodo not guilty. And there's our victory. Oh, it always feels so good. Oh, I miss this so much. I know I keep saying it over and over again, but it's true. You have no idea how much I miss this. It's so good to be back. November 22nd, 2:46 p.m., Supreme Court of Judicature, Defendant's Antechamber 5.
I can't believe it. I can't believe what happened. I made it. I defended myself and made it through that horrendous trial.
Ryunosuke, you finally pulled it off. Congratulations.
Well, I couldn't have done it without you. Thank you, Kazuma.
Ha 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 ha. No, it was a pleasure to watch you at work. So, you owe me an extra large sukiyaki from the place on Yuma University Street. Don't forget. Professor?
Oh no, the woman who single-handedly saved our asses today. Congratulations to both of you for proving Naruhodo-san's innocence.
Ah, our trusty judicial assistant. You worked hard for that result too, you know.
Oh no, I didn't do anything.
Yes, you did. We would have lost that instantly were it not for you.
Thank you so much. If we hadn't had that research report of Miss Brett's, I don't know how things would have turned out. Your kind words should really be from my father. I was simply doing as he asked. It was his idea for me to go to the university and investigate. Your father? Ah, yes, of course. Speaking of Mikotaba...
Ah, there you are. I believe congratulations are in order. Naruhodo, you did an excellent job.
Thank you, Professor.
Oh no, it is I who should be thanking you. After all, your efforts exposed the true criminal that took the life of my good friend.
Good friend? Oh yes, you mentioned that before. It was you who actually invited Dr. Wilson to Yuma University, wasn't it?
Yes, that's right. Professor Mikutaba studied overseas himself. He went to study forensic medicine in Great Britain. Presumably that's when you met Dr. Wilson? Exactly. In those days, we worked together in the same hospital.
Oh, you work together?
I've never heard you mention that name before. Well, it was a long time ago now. Besides, it's your turn, Asogi. Great Britain is a magnificent country. It leads the world in science, medicine, engineering, culture, and of course, in law. Watch and learn, my boy. See what's happening in the world's largest melting pot. I will. I'll learn all that I can. I swear on this, the spirit of the Asagi clan.
You're not taking that sword to Great Britain, are you?
I mean, it's kind of, that's character trait, he has to. Of course I am. A Japanese man's katana is his soul. His blade shows me where I need to go. And cuts down anything that's in my way.
Yes, I've definitely seen how sharp it is already with my own eyes.
That reminds me, what's happened to the woman? To Giselle Brett, I mean. After all, she's guilty of murder.
Yes, her.
Don't you dare tell me she struck a deal of some kind. It's not easy to tell you this, but no, don't you even try to tell me.
What do you mean? She said she's going to face trial herself now. She's the true culprit after all.
She will be leaving Japan in the very near future for Shanghai.
What? Shanghai?
Giselle Brett will not appear in court again in this country. I'm certain of that.
What? But why not? It's a matter of consular jurisdiction.
Oh, I got that. I thought it was going to be Susato who said that.
Inspector Hosonaga. It was a hard-fought battle in the courtroom today. Very impressive to watch. I must congratulate... But what's all this about consular jurisdiction? We cannot try this particular foreigner for her crimes here in Japan. What? What? We can't try her? But then, who? Who's going to bring her to justice?
I'm guessing it's going to be you by the end of the game, and if it's not, it damn well better be you by the end of this game. A British consular court will hear her case, somewhere far away where our voices can't be heard.
But why a consular court?
Professor, I simply don't understand. I thought consular courts were a thing of the past now that we signed the friendship treaty. Yes, in normal circumstances you're right. Then, so long as this is not a serious incident of a highly political nature to our respective governments, they can't invoke a consular court just like that.
Oh, can't they?
Yes, she's a student, but it doesn't justify our governments making secret agreements about her fate, does it? Something strange is going on.
So Miss Brett can't be held accountable for her actions here in Japan.
I'm afraid that for the young student, today's trial was nothing more than a game all along. There was never any danger of comeuppance for her.
I don't believe it! The British government's Foreign Affairs Ministry has demanded that we hand over custody of Miss Brett. They're obviously taking this case of a foreign student committing murder very seriously.
But it's all going to change from now on. We can make it change. This is a time of great turmoil. This new era heralded by the start of the 20th century. One day, I have no doubt, that woman will receive the judgment she deserves. Yes, change is coming, and we're the ones driving it. Well, I think that's enough for now. This evening calls for a celebratory drink.
But Professor!
You're right. This is no time for gloomy faces. We should be celebrating Ryunosuke's not guilty verdict. Let's start having some fun!
In that case, might I suggest Le Carnival? As the head waiter, I should be delighted to provide you with ample food and drink. You're a detective, Hosonaga-san, aren't you?
Also, if I were Ryunosuke, and I just, I went to a restaurant, and I wound up being accused of murder, I don't know that I want to go back there for, the rest of my life. I feel like that'd be, major PTSD, and of a traumatic memory of the time that I was accused of murder, falsely accused of murder in this restaurant. Yes, he proved himself innocent, but I don't know, man, I feel like that'd still bring back some unpleasant memories that I wouldn't want to associate myself with ever again. I don't know that I'd ever want to go back to that place and touch it with a 10-foot pole. Ahem. Let's not worry about details for now.
To Le Carnival! Will you accompany us, Professor?
Of course. The Carnival's food is second to none.
I shall go and attend to the... Oh, come on. She should come along with us. Come on. She saved our asses. She should come along with us. Oh, yes, thank you.
I have a feeling I'm going to like her a lot. I have a feeling she's going to grow on me very, very quickly. Also, she absolutely deserves to come with us to this dinner. If it were not for her, we would have lost hardcore.
So Giselle Brett won't be tried here. I suppose that means I'll never know. I'll never find out why she killed Dr. Wilson.
Unlikely, but okay.
Kazuma!
Yes, Ryunosuke?
I just wanted to say thanks again, that's all. You really saved me today.
Ha ha ha! I didn't do a thing. You were the lawyer in there, weren't you? That defense was all your own work.
Your skills made the difference, though. One day I bet you'll be the best lawyer in the world.
I'm not so sure about that. To be honest, something kept occurring to me over and over again during that trial. I couldn't help thinking that maybe you're the one destined to become a great lawyer, not me.
What? Come on, be serious.
If I helped you today, it was only right at the very start of the trial, but you have a natural talent for it. For being a defense lawyer, I mean.
Oh no, not me.
Oh, you have no idea what your future has in store for you.
All that tense verbal combat, I never want to go through that ever again. I did what you told me to do, that's all, because I knew I could trust you.
That's the point.
Sorry? What do you mean that's the point?
Listen, Ryunosuke, do you know what the most crucial weapon is that any lawyer needs in order to win?
Knowledge of the law?
No, the ability to believe.
To believe? To believe what?
A defense lawyer has to fight for his clients. He has to believe in them at all times.
Like you believed in me when I said I didn't do it.
I'm human just like you. I don't have some superhuman talent or strength. Or sorry, I don't have some superhuman ability to know the truth. But you have to make a choice about what to believe in and stick to it when you're defending someone. Sometimes in the courtroom you can really be backed into a corner. But being able to remain faithful to what you choose to believe in even then, well, that's not something that anyone can do. It takes a special kind of person.
Believing in your client.
Just look at today's trial. I'm a student lawyer with precious little real experience, but you never stop believing in me.
Well,
You've faced seemingly hopeless situations time and time again, but you never stopped looking for the truth. And in the end, you found it through your own efforts and because you never stopped believing in me.
Thanks, Kazuma.
There's something I want to ask you actually, Ryunosuke. Well, it's a favor really. Something very important to me.
It sounds serious. What is... you're still here, are you? Oh, Inspector Hosonaga. I've arranged some rickshaws for us. Let's go.
Thank you. We'll be right there. I keep forgetting that this game takes place like before the 20th century, or like right around the turn of the century, I think. Freaking rickshaws. Let's pick up this conversation again later. We should be celebrating right now. Your first court victory.
And your study tour to Great Britain, don't forget.
Yes, that too. And so ends our first trial?
So my very first trial came to an end. Kazuma. Professor Mikotaba. Susato-san, who acted as my assistant. Inspector Hosonaga, who didn't really play much of a part, but still. It was because of the help and support of all these people that I managed to get through that trial. But more importantly, Kazuma hadn't yet managed to ask his favor of me. Little did I realize just how much it would change my life. Wow! What a way to start this game! That was fantastic. I mean, I wouldn't say it's like the best first case ever. I don't. Let's not kid ourselves here. That wasn't Turnabout Target levels. That wasn't Turnabout Memories levels. I'd say it's probably because I think it probably falls between Turnabout Memories and the Foreign Turnabout. Better than the Foreign Turnabout, but not as good as Turnabout Memories and Turnabout Target. But still, fantastic first case, all things considered. The only thing I have negative to say about it is that it might have dragged on for a little too long. Like, I probably could have cut some of the stuff out. Namely, in this episode, when we were like, hey, she said she only eats steaks with a fork and knife, but she took a gnarly bite out of it or whatever. It's like, I don't know that you needed to do that to prove that the plates were switched, because surely the fact that the coin was under the steak plate would have proven that. Because there's no reason why he wouldn't have hidden the coin or underneath a different person's plate. He would have just hid it under his own steak. So I don't know. That should have been enough to prove it. I feel like that was a little dragged out. Just in general, I think we could have cut some of the little bips and bobs out here and there to make it a little bit more condensed. But that's it. That's my only criticism of it so far, because everything else about it was fantastic. The logic.
I really don't want to. I'm not gonna make a habit of like constantly referencing back to the last 7 months of my life, but I really forgot what it was like to play a game where the mysteries make sense, where there's logical through lines to all of it, where there's cause and effect. You see like how this leads to this and that leads to that, and this leads to this and that leads to that, and all that. You see why things happen, the motivations behind things, which I guess technically we don't know the motivations yet, but I'll get to that in a second. Like, everything makes sense. It all follows logically. Also, I forgot what it was like to actually have, like, to have a mystery that stair-steps you up to things. Because the thing is, like, for the most part in Ace Attorney, I'm never that far ahead. Like, I'm never that many jumps ahead of the hoofbeats. By which I mean, I think the furthest ahead I've ever been was in Bridge to the Turnabout when I predicted the bridge stunt. But by and large, for the most part, I'm not that far ahead of the game. Like, usually, I might be one cross-examination ahead in terms of, like, I make a theory where, like, okay, I think this is gonna happen, this is gonna happen, this is gonna happen. But it's never a thing where I'm like, okay, within 5 minutes of the investigation, I'm like, okay, there's this, that means this person did it for that reason in this situation, and with the specific murder method, unlike some other series. So it's like, Shu Takumi knows how to write mysteries. He knows how to slowly reveal new clues to the point where you can keep up with it, you can follow along logically, but you're also, like, you're perfectly in line with it. You're never too far ahead, you're never too far behind. You're perfectly where the writer wants you to be in terms of figuring it out. And there is, but that doesn't mean it's so super linear, because there's always a little bit of wiggle room so where you can figure things out a little bit ahead of time so that you always get to the truth before the characters do, but not too far in advance to the point where you're like, okay, you guys gotta catch up, you guys are taking too long to figure this out. It's an immaculately impossibly difficult balance to strike, but they strike it perfectly. Now the big thing, and that's like, so we got the logic, we got the way in which the mystery is presented, but the big things, also one more thing, animations, the character animations. Oh my god, they're so good so far. They're just, maybe, again, it might just be the stark contrast given what I've recently played, but it's just, they're so lifelike. You can feel they're real people. The subtleties in their movement, all the little details, just, they're so good. The music, phenomenal. The main theme, like the Prelude to an Adventure, that's awesome. Objection music, they held that card in their back pocket, ready to play it when they waited for the right time to play it, and they played it brilliantly. The Pursuit music, oh my god, it was orchestral awesomeness. I don't know that I'd say it was my favorite out of all the Pursuit themes, but it's up there. That was really awesome to listen to. But now for the big things. Characters all day. That was, I mean, I might even say it was perfect the way they did it. The way they introduced all the characters, throwing Ryunosuke into the thick of things by having him defend himself out of the gate, showing, because, like, he didn't start out as a confident attorney, he didn't even start out as an attorney who was learning. He started out as some random guy thrust into a situation where he has to defend himself in court. And you can feel that. His character writing was perfect there. You can feel he's just an average guy that's just figuring it out as he goes. And you can see the balance shift throughout the case, where at the beginning, Kazuma's very much leading the charge. Like, you still have agency as a player, unlike a certain other game that starts with an A and I'll just say, unlike Apologist Ace Attorney, where Apologist's there and Kristoff does all the work for the first half, and then Phoenix does all the work for the second half, and Apologist nothing. In this game, Ryunosuke starts off as like, you still have agency, you still say things, but like you as the player are still figuring out the logic, but Ryunosuke doesn't have the confidence to actually project himself forward, so it's Kazuma who leads the charge, and he presents the evidence, and he leads initially. But the further you go throughout the case, the more the balance shifts, and Kazuma takes a smaller and smaller role, and Ryunosuke's confidence grows, and he figures out what he's doing, and he learns the tricks of the trade, culminating in the final moment where he finally gains the confidence to stretch out. I just bumped the microphone, and I'm sorry. To where he stretches out his finger, and he yells out, "Objection!" And it's just, oh, it's so good. It's so perfect. The way those characters were introduced, the subtle ways that they were brought up, the development between those two, immaculate. Genius, Shu Takumi, you are a legend. You are a genius writer. I have nothing but undying admiration and respect for you. Your writing is perfection, and I adore it to death. This was phenomenal. I am so thrilled to be back. Oh, and one last thing. The case itself, it set up some breadcrumbs. Like, it hit all the major chords it needed to. It hit the characters, it hit the plot, it had a core self-contained mystery that was really well put together and it made sense, but it also leaves some breadcrumbs that we're going to develop in the future in terms of like how she got away with this, what was her motivation for doing it, what's Kazuma's mission, all those little details that are gonna come into effect later. I am so happy to be back. That case is fantastic. Not perfect, but a brilliant introduction to this game, and I am so excited to keep playing. So thank you all for watching. I hope you're as excited for the series as I am. Stay tuned for next time, and I hope to catch you all tomorrow for some more of the Great Ace Attorney adventures. Goodbye!